land at the airport in the developing world, and 10 minutes later, you've already been scammed. Steve here, Street Smart on the Ground series. This one is about scams in the developing world, and this is episode 2, specifically about taxi scams. Tons of ways you can get scammed in cabs. I'm not going to cover all of them. We'll go over some of the basics here. I'll give you some things to do to avoid getting scammed, things to do to be prepared in case there is a scam. So we're going to look at recognition and shutting down the scam, and ideally avoiding it in the first place. Step 1, recognition. How this scam starts. You hail a cab, maybe it's from the airport, maybe you're in a downtown area, it's kind of busy, there's a lot of time pressure, people are honking horns, hey, get out of the way, what are you doing? You get into the cab, and the driver says, oh, the meter's broken. Or I can't use the meter for whatever reason. Like, okay. How much is it to go from here to where I want to go? And then they deflect and defer, and they don't really give you a number. Like, no. We're not moving until you give me the number. What is the fare to go from here to where I want to go? Do not get in the cab before that, and definitely don't move anywhere if you're already in the cab until they give you a number. That's the biggest part of this whole thing. Once you have that number, confirm it with them, make sure that they understand that you understand this is the number we agreed on, and then you should be able to avoid scams going forward from that point. That's the big sticking point. If the price isn't clear before you get in, you're already in the setup. Step 2, shut down. What do you do in the moment? So the big thing, you've already agreed on the price. If they won't agree on a price, walk away immediately, find another cab, use a ride-sharing app, ride-hailing app, something else. Take a bus. I avoid cabs as much as I can in the developing world. Can't do it entirely, but a lot of the time I will take a bus or I'll walk. Not always an option, but where it is, that's my first line of defense. And I haven't had many. I've had a couple issues with cab drivers over many, many years traveling through the developing world. Most of them are honest, hardworking people that just want to do their job, earn their day's pay, go home, and hang out with their family. But you're always going to get the odd one that's like, oh, jackpot, gringo, walking bank machine, I can take this guy, I can fleece him. So the big thing, make sure you're clear. Clarity before movement. If you don't have the information you need, how much is it going to cost, here's where I want to go, then don't get in the cab. Now I did have an issue. I'll give you a simple story. I was in Archidona, so down in the Amazon in Ecuador. This would have been 2 years ago maybe. I was staying in a place that was a little off the beaten track. It's probably about 1 or 2 kilometers to walk from where I was to get to the road. There was a bus at the road that was going exactly where I needed to go, 50 cents. But to get there, I was going to have to slog through a road that was mostly mud and gravel with my carry-on for 1 or 2 kilometers and figured, no, this isn't worth it. So I asked my host, can you call a cab? And they did. The guy showed up, and before I got in, because I know this game, I said, how much to Tana from Archidona? It's maybe 10 minutes. And he said, $15. And I just, what? No, it's not. Dude, I got down to here, Tana, from Quito, just outside the airport, for $10. Now, to be fair, the price didn't start at $10, but that's where we ended up, and it was a shared cab, so a little different, but a 4-hour cab ride. There is no way a 10-minute cab ride anywhere in Ecuador is going to cost you $15. It's impossible. And as soon as he realized I knew what I was doing, he said, oh, okay, 5. 5 was maybe a little high, but way better than 15, and at the end of the day, I need to get to where I'm going. I don't mind paying the guy a reasonable price, but I'm not paying $15 to do something that I can do for 5. Or, when we got to the road, I pointed out, yeah, by the way, that bus cost 50 cents, so I could pay you $1 now for taking me to the road, and you're out the rest of that fare. And by the way, why are you treating a guest in your country in this way? Part 3, damage control. If you're in it. I have a story to illustrate this one as well, but basically, if you're already in the scam and the driver's trying to push back, no, it's this much, and they're like, this is the price that you told me that we agreed on, this is what I'm paying you, that's it. I'm not, right? Don't freak out, don't escalate, you don't need to cause a scene. Having said that, I met an Israeli guy that did cause a scene. So I can't remember, it might have been Peru, it might have been Ecuador. He ended up agreeing on a price, got in the cab, and when they got to where he was going, the price went up. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. This is what we agreed on. This is what I'm going to pay you. And he was about to get out of the cab and not pay the guy at all and realized, oof, I've got a bag in the trunk So if I walk away, I'm never going to see that again. What's my option? So what he chose to do, and I personally would not do this, but it worked for him. He got out of the cab and started very loudly yelling about, oh, this cab driver's trying to rob me off, trying to rip me off. Hey, I'm a guest in your country. I'm traveling. Why is he doing this? And then the locals started gathering around. Small town. They took the passenger's side, not the driver. Like, hey, why are you trying to rob this guy? Give him his bag, let him pay what you agreed on, and that's it. I don't know any other details about that story. Was this cab driver a known scammer? Is this something that usually happens in this place? Who knows? I do know that because the Israeli guy did choose to make a scene, it ended up working out in his favor. I don't really want to gamble, roll the dice on maybe it'll go this way or maybe it'll go that way, because maybe I get lucky and things go my way, and maybe I don't and things go from bad to worse. Now for me, I'm not there to win an argument. I'm there to get to where I'm going, walk away, and get on with my life. That's it. Now most taxi scams aren't complicated. They rely on you being stressed and tired and in a hurry. And you're not going to make good decisions under any of those conditions. So again, make sure you agree on the price before you get in. That's the biggest one. Another tip, have small bills and change, just in case the driver doesn't have change. I haven't had that issue down there. I've had that issue in Toronto somehow, but not down there. It's best to have small bills ready so that you have the exact change for the fare in case they say, I don't have change. That gets you out of another sticky situation. But rule number one, always, always, always agree on the fare up front or make sure that the meter is running. And it's better if you have a list. If you're coming from a hotel or an Airbnb or somewhere, ask your host or the concierge, do you have a list of vetted cab drivers that I can trust to get me from here to here without scamming me? Another way to filter it out. Hopefully that's been helpful. Got some insights there. If you have any stories about being scammed or dealing with cab drivers in the developing world, please drop them below. Comments, questions, please let me know. I read them all. Thanks for stopping by. This is Street Smart on the Ground Scams. Episode number 2. I'll throw this in the playlist. There'll be a bunch more in this series. This one was specifically about taxi scams in the developing world. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. See you out on the ground next Wednesday.